I don't know, honey. Where is it?
I don't lost it.
You didn't lose it?
No.
Okay. I don't know where it is, honey.
The school bag gone.
Yeah.
Where's my school bag?
Oh boy, you having fun out here? Huh? You like it? You don't get to outside much the last week. No. Yeah. I tell you, it has been raining for the last 5 days straight, basically. About 5 days straight, it's been raining. It's been raining so much, about 20 miles up the road, we've had major flooding. I've not been out to the land yet. I'm going to go out there today and take a look. We're going to see what it looks like. The way the clouds look, we could get more rain any minute, but we'll see. I'm going to show you, there's something that happened here at the house I want to show you guys. Those of you that remember, a couple weeks ago I did a video talking about the things growing in the backyard, and this papaya tree, this pawpaw, just fell over. It's been so wet, so much rain, and we've had some pretty good winds too. This tree just uprooted. Now, we've had so much rain, a little wind, but primarily just rain, that this tree just uprooted. And take a look. We're going to have to cut this thing up. I want to kind of get a look at what happened here, but we're going to have to cut this thing up in the next few days. I don't know if I'm going to do that today, though. But this is a clue. This is, you know, like I said, about 20 miles up the road, there's been major flooding. Rain's coming, so the girls are getting the laundry before we get too much. Just a little bit of drizzle now. It has rained every single day this week. Today's Friday. It started raining Saturday night, and it's basically rained every single day. It has rained today, but it's not too bad today. So what we're going to do, since right now we've got a little sunshine and it's not raining, we're going to take a ride out and see just how bad it is. We've been dealing with, many parts of the island have been dealing with major flooding. You'll just, I'll put some video in to show you just how bad the flooding has been. I tell you, it didn't take long for us to run into rain. Here we are, we're just about to pull onto the property and it's raining again. So let's see what it looks like here. Right here, it's all blocked up. If they were to move, if we pull this stuff out, it would make a big difference. I might actually talk to the guy with the backhoe, have him come over and dig this out. See if he'll do it for a few dollars. You know, I don't have a lot of money, but we can throw a few bucks at him to clear this one spot. That would drain all the water off of this field and open it up for down there, because we do have drainage all the way out from there that'll come all the way down here. But if this is blocked, it's a problem all the way down. Considering all the rain we got, it's not nearly as bad as I expected. But that's not to say we're not flooded. There's no way I would dare drive the truck any farther than this. As part of the design, I put in, if you look, there's a bunch of stone right here. But the stone stops, and this is just mud and grass. And that is because this is the driveway, the roadway up to the house, and right here is where the house is going to go. So I don't put the stone in here because, well, frankly, I don't want to have to dig it all out when we put in the house. The plan is eventually to put a roadway in, starting down here and working it all the way up this way, parallel with the food forest. Because the food forest is going to run all the way from where it is, bring it all the way down here to the roadway down there at the end. And there'll be a road that runs parallel to that. This road that I use now is only temporary, and it won't be for very long. As soon as we start construction, this is where the house is going to go. We're not going to be able to drive up and down here. We're going to have to move over to the other roadway. For now, what I've got is I've got my poncho in case the rain comes back, which for all we know it could. I got my water boots on. We're going to take a walk and get a good look at what the place looks like over there. First things first, these are these bananas we got last Friday. The guy made me promise I wouldn't plant them for a couple of days. I should have just planted them Friday. Just don't want them sitting in the water. There's a little water right there, but they're not too bad. This is actually a beautiful sign because the earthworks is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Although my guy sure isn't doing it. We got plastic bottles in here. Why the hell didn't he dump these plastic bottles? Throw them away like he's supposed to. But the earthworks is doing its thing. We have trapped a ton of water. This is all rain too. This is not coming from the canal. It's all rain. Trapped the water, and all this grass is starting to break down and sink. Well, right off the bat, I'm going to say this. This pineapple looks great. I'm liking this. We at least got one pineapple growing. Right next to it, we've got a strawberry. And that strawberry is the best looking strawberry I've ever had on this land. Unfortunately, when we back out of that, it is surrounded by way too much water. As soon as we get wood chips, we are going to fill in all these spots with wood chips. We're probably going to put a layer of compost down and then cover the whole thing with wood chips because this is a problem. That mulberry looks good though. Look at these sweet potatoes. Why the hell don't they eat that? There's 10 times more sweet potatoes in the old food forest, and I don't care how much of that they eat. But look at this. They eat the crap out of this. Tons of it is gone. Take a look. Here's my hand. That is that is the size of my hand. And it looks good. We're going to get seeds out of this. We're going to let this dry for the next forever. This may be the biggest one, but we've got several of them that look pretty good so far. I'm going to tell you, this is a testimony to the benefit of life in the soil. This section here is where we dumped the first load of wood chips, and that load of wood chips sat here for a few months, and we ended up putting in a whole bunch of what you might consider compost tea into the soil right in this spot, and there is no standing water here. Not only is there no standing water, it's grown like crazy, and they're not suffering in the water. And we've had a lot of water here. So we need to take serious steps to increase the life in the soil throughout the whole place to take care of this problem, because this is an issue. Here's a nice thing to see. The butterflies are going through the flowers on this basil. Now we've got some bees doing the same thing. We've got both bees and butterflies working this basil. Here we're in the older food forest. This food forest was planted 1 year before the one we were just in. And you see the guavas are much bigger. The papayas are much bigger. But we don't have the life in the soil that we want, because look at the standing water. Now this was the first food forest we planted, so we didn't do it the same way. And I think that's had an impact, a serious impact on how this place looks. I'm hoping over time, as we continue to add organic matter, we'll increase the life down here. We're going to be doing a lot of work over in this section when I get back. If you take a look over here, nothing's growing. I mean, things aren't growing as well as I'd like. There isn't nearly as much as I expected. We've got this big area where the grass is starting to move in. The sweet potatoes have taken over, which is a good sign. We've got a good ground cover, but we don't have nearly enough trees or shrubs. We just don't have enough activity here. So we need to do something to fix this. We're going to deal with that when I get back. And here comes the rain again. I've been forced to put the poncho on because of the rain is starting to come back. Let's see. I don't like wearing this, even though it works great at keeping me dry. The problem is it's really hot. And this is Jamaica. Things get hot here, and I don't like to be in it if I don't have to. But if it's going to rain, I don't want to be all wet. And take a look at this guava tree. I mean, this guava is super prolific. Look at all the guavas on it. And some of them are starting to get pretty big. This one looks like it's starting to ripen. Nice looking guavas, and there's a lot of them. This guava is 1 year and, what's May? 1 year, 4 months. It's about 16 months old, give or take. But man, is it a prolific fruiter. Look at all the fruit. Now, even though we've been dealing with as much rain as we have, I gotta admit, there's less water here than I expected. I really thought we'd have serious issues with water. We don't. One of the things that I think we're going to do is we're going to take these sweet potatoes, we're going to cut about 100 of these slips, we're going to plant them along the roadway and around the newer food forest, hoping that we'll entice the goats to eat the sweet potato, this sweet potato, rather than the one that I've got planted. This stuff I'm not a big fan of. But the stuff I planted in the newer food forest is the stuff I really want to eat. So let's hope we can find a way to get the goats to eat something other than the good stuff. I'm going to be honest, I have expected to see some real problems with these timber trees. But so far, no real problems. This ebony is perfect. It needs to be pruned a little bit because it's starting to get a little, it needs a little work, but look at it, one stem. All the way to the top. This stem is 4 feet tall. In another 3 months, this will definitely be above the grass line and we won't have any worries at all with this tree. Now the problems we had were with the silky oaks, so let's find a silky oak. Because we're still really wet here. Look at all the water. We got serious water issues throughout this whole place. And we're over here in this spot that was pretty dry last time. The guys cleared this section. And guys, it looks pretty good here, but it's just so wet. There's been so much rain that there's almost, I mean, it's just unbelievable how much rain. So, we're putting the camera up for now. Well, as you can see, we're dealing with the weather. There's only so much we can do here. We've got heavy rains, more rains, and now even more rains. And it's been raining all week long. Depending on how much rain we get, we need to get a few things done before I leave. And I'm not sure how much of that stuff we're going to get done. It is really, really wet. And I at least need to get the bananas planted. And, well, for now, I just need to get those bananas planted. I already transplanted the teak into bigger pots, so they're going to be just fine. In fact, they'll probably do very well. And then we'll move them into the ground when I get back. But next week, there's a few things we really need to do. I'd very much like to prune those timber trees, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's just too wet, and there's only so much we can do. So those timber trees are going to grow a little wild for the next month, and then I'll prune them over the summer. It's just the way we're going to have to do it. We got Mr. Mello his first pair of shoes today. Since we're going to be traveling, I can't have him walking around the airport in his bare feet. So Auntie's walking him around a little bit, getting him used to his new shoes. And of course, what's he doing? He's playing with the bushes. But as you see, the roads are still dry. The roads still have puddles. The rain stopped a little while ago, but if you take a look, it sure doesn't look like we're going to get any clear sunshine anytime soon. But it's the way things are. But he's having a good time.